I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I feel like I'm on top of the world.
Disclaimer, you will not be transported to the top of the world. In the unlikely event you find yourself at the Arctic Circle, seek shelter from the elements immediately to avoid frostbite and or hypothermia. Geico will not be responsible if you find yourself in a cave or crevasse with a lonely abominable snowman, who in all likelihood will force you to play games including but not limited to Go Fish, charades, Chinese checkers, or his personal favorite, Red Rover, send Yeti on over. Geico is not liable for any damages, either physical or emotional.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Greg Cody of the Miami Herald is with us, and he has brought in a glass award from the Orange Bowl, the Edwin Pope Media Award.
Nice.
December 29th, 2017. Who does this? Who carries their awards around?
Greg Cody does.
How did it get here? I just noticed it. It's crazy.
Are you getting sentimental on us? Is that what's happening? Are you now in the eulogy portion of your professional career where you're getting to attend your own funeral?
Well, okay. A couple of people on Twitter have made fun of me that an award such as this essentially is sort of a career achievement.
Our fantasy trophy is about 10 times the size and cost of that.
Yeah, how gaudy. Your fantasy trophy's like the turnover chain.
It's your league.
I know, which means, I'm not complaining, though.
Well, what did you bring the award in here for? So that we'd ask you about it?
I mean, it was in my bag, and, I did. Okay. I wanted it to breathe.
It got up
I
on
didn't want to leave it.
We're done with that joke. That joke's done. Get that joke out of here.
No, that's plausible. I mean, just happened to be in his bag.
It was in my bag.
Not plausible. It could have stayed in the bag. Now it's on the desk where it'll be in front of the television camera.
I didn't want to leave it in my bag. It's not. I mean, look, I'm a 7-time PFPI champion, so obviously this is not the biggest award I've ever won. But it does mean something to me. I respect the Orange Bowl committee as a civic force. Edwin Pope obviously was my mentor, and so to win that award means a little something.
What place did you come this year in PFPI?
It's got some fingerprints on it. Anyway, enough about me.
What place did you come in this year in PFPI?
He does not have his headphones plugged in, right?
He can't hear his son.
Can you not hear?
Yeah, hang on. Let me turn this up.
He can't hear his son.
Are they plugged in, or do you need to turn the volume up? Which one? Can you hear?
Okay, Christopher, talk again.
He was so in love. Wait a minute. This is not a phone call between you and your son.
I know,
we're on the air.
I know, but I want to make sure.
This is not you've lost reception, and it's like, hello, Christopher, I can't hear you. I'm in a tunnel. We're on the air.
Okay.
Get your bleep straightened out.
Right. I think it's on now, is what I'm saying.
He came in last place this year in PFPI.
Did you hear that?
It's true, but I'm a 7-time champion, all-time leader. Christopher's got 5. My brother's got 6.
I had this exchange with somebody.
Including the last one.
I had this exchange with somebody the other day. Saw Cody at, what was this, a luncheon or dinner? What was this thing?
We were honored to be invited to both the president's dinner and the coach's luncheon.
Somebody wrote me, I saw Cody. He looks 1,000,000 years old. And my response was only, it's the beer.
Wow. Couldn't they have said 1,000 years old?
Is he right, though?
I don't judge. I don't look in mirrors.
But when you look at yourself, you're like, I look a little bit old.
But what is it?
Yeah.
So this is a career
I'm aging badly. There's no question.
Are we taking this as a career achievement award? Is that a career achievement award? Is that why that's out here today?
Well, I'm not done achieving. Let's get that straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just getting started.
I am just getting started.
Yes, you are.
I lied about my career being on the 18th
Wait a minute. What are you just getting started right now?
Achievements.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to start winning awards left, right, and center. You kidding me?
All right. Hold on a second. Let me just backtrack for a second.
That comes with age, Dan. I mean, the winning of awards comes with its career achievement stuff. Like, you'll win a few on the way, right? Don't you think?
All right, Guillermo, put it on the poll. Do you think it strange that Greg Cody is carrying an award around with him everywhere? Yes or no?
I don't. I mean,
thank you.
Perfectly normal.
Yeah.
If we won a Marconi, and we should have won one already, I'd wear that thing around my neck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If this wasn't so heavy, I would make a chain out of it. Because it weighs like, how much would you say that weighs? Like 5 pounds?
4 pounds.
4 pounds. So I would wear it.
Really? You're the authority?
It was a necessary correction.
I love it.
Really?
Let me try.
Why did he make me the arbiter of weight?
I think it's 6 pounds.
There you go.
All right, well, there
Thank
we
you.
go. All right.
That's lead crystal, baby.
So Ron Miguel's going to be on with us, and there are a lot of things going on in sports that affected our show this weekend. Pagano's out. That's terrible. John Fox is out. That's terrible.
Yeah.
The Browns are 0-16 a year after we were ready to fund the parade.
Yep. Terrible.
Gruden might be in, though.
Yeah. We like that.
Yeah, it's big.
He's a rose that grew from the concrete.
Is anyone else just tired of this whole idea that John Gruden or anybody can swoop in? Like, you saw what happened to Nick Saban in the pros, right? You guys all saw that. When Nick Saban's got the best players in college and all the best players, he wins all the time. And when he gets to the pros, and we all know he's pretty smart, right? None of us think John Gruden is Nick Saban, right?
No.
He's good, though.
He's a Super Bowl champion.
No, Guillermo, put it on the poll. Who's better, John Gruden or Nick Saban? Yes, he's Super Bowl champion, but who's better?
As a pro coach?
Who's better? Who do you trust more as your coach?
Well, Saban's going to win that because he's the greatest college coach ever.
Okay, no, but who is better at coaching? They're both coaching jobs. Who's better at coaching is what I'm asking you. Saban, you saw what he did in the pros. Why would you think Gruden's going to come in and sweep over something that nobody else knows how to do? Like, honestly, why would you get excited about John Gruden other than
because he's done it?
The idea that he's not Jack Del Rio and he's just got football charisma that he has turned into a broadcasting career and commercials and football. But that guy is just another. He's Brian Billick. His career resume is Brian Billick's.
But I think when you have like a good young quarterback, that's his specialty. Plus, you're moving into a new city. You want to move into that new city with a guy like Gruden.
All I'm saying is it's splash and no steak. It's sizzle and no steak. It's
splash.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, first of all, Saban would have won in the NFL. Would have won with the Dolphins if he had more patience, but he didn't have it. Second, Gruden. Coaching mystique never leaves. Jimmy Johnson, at age 74, I believe, could get a job.
Wait a minute. Does mystique never leave? How about Cowher? I think Cowher, it's closed. Don't you think it's closed on Cowher?
I don't know about that.
No, I think if Cowher wants to get back in, someone would make him a ridiculous offer.
You think Cowher would be an exciting hire for somebody?
Yes, 100%.
And Jimmy Johnson, maybe not as a head coach, but as a president of personnel or something? Absolutely.
That's funny given what you see the 30-year-old coach of the Rams doing.
Right, but people would still get excited over Bill Cowher.
I know, but the excitement is nonsense is what I'm saying.
It's total nonsense.
Like, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you're paying for excitement that doesn't mean much of anything.
If the Jets hired Cowher today, though, I would be ecstatic.
Right,
as excited as I've ever been as a Jet fan, to be honest with you.
Isn't
that crazy?
So you guys aren't as tired as I am of, I don't care what coach is available for what job. Almost, unless you tell me Belichick or Popovich is available, I don't care what any coach available for. Man, look at what Steve Kerr just did. He had no experience.
Right. Good players, though. Dan, I'm telling you, fan base would get excited if Bill Parcells came back and coached the team. I'm telling you.
Even though that's a mistake we've already made?
Yeah, this fan base would be excited again. Yes.
I got to draw the line there.
No, I mean, where is the line? Where is the line? Stu guys, I feel we'll put the line anywhere. Like,
Marv Levy, get him back.
Shula?
Yes.
Oh, so excited. Schulz?
Bud Grant, get him away from his garage sale, put him back in the NFL.
I'm telling you, Dan, the Dolphin fan base, if you told them next year, Adam Gase could roam the sidelines or Don Shula could roam the put it on the poll.
Come on, man. Come on.
The sideline.
Come on.
Well, I mean, someone pushing him around.
How old is Don Shula? Wait a minute. Don Shula, hold on a second. Like, Don Shula has been a pillar in this community, as famous a name as has ever been associated with this town. And he has aged really gracefully and dignified in a way that has kept that stature. But he is right now at, he's in a very frail state and needs a lot of help. And so how old is Don Shula?
87 years old.
Right. He'll actually...
Hold on. I want to consider this possibility.
He will be 88 in a couple of days.
Right.
Happy birthday, Don.
Yep.
Love you.
He'll have coordinators, I mean.
All right, put it on the poll. Who would excite you more entering into next season as head coach? Adam Gase or Don Shula?
It's going to be a landslide. I am telling you.
Come on. Not even close.
But what is the tipping point on that? Hold on a second, because you guys are saying there is no shelf life. You guys are arguing that if you've won a championship, there's no shelf life. The game has never passed you by, except weirdly for Billick.
That's the one. There it is.
No, that's
no one wants Billick as their head coach.
No, I know, but
I would exhume Vince Lombardi and put his urn on the sideline on a pedestal. That's what I would do.
So there is no line for you guys. You'll get excited about leader guy.
Yeah. I mean, if the Bears, because they got rid of John Fox, if they signed Mike Ditka today, don't you think that fan base would be excited?
Wait a minute. If the Bears...
I mean...
Hold on. All right, Guillermo, put that on the poll as well. Would the Bears fan base be excited if Ditka was returning today to replace John Fox? Like, at this point in Ditka's career, though, if you're the Bears, you have to fear that the next thing he's going to say is going to be horribly racist. That's one of the fears, because you got an old man who doesn't care there. Like, for sure, he's going to do something that's going to get him into trouble.
He would also doze off during the middle of calling a play.
Can you make the options yes or duh for Mike Ditka?
Stugotz, this is one of the reasons that I find this funny. Gruden just looks young. Gruden is Brian Billick in a different package. And the packaging is so much better than that Gruden is allowed to not age. Because I'm telling you, put their resumes side by side. Billick and Gruden are the same dude. Both won with defenses. They got credit for winning with offenses. But Brad Johnson and Trent Dilfer weren't the reasons those Super Bowls were won. They're the same coach. But one of them has the packaging that allows him to be the highest paid employee at ESPN and never age. Because he's got a great job opportunity when I thought the window had closed on Cowher and Gruden. Mm-hmm. And the other one can't get work.
Yeah, and they're also giving Gruden a piece of the franchise, I think.
It's crazy,
I mean,
right?
That's amazing.
Ownership stake.
If the other owners allow it. The other owners have to approve that. But what I'm talking about, that's the power of charisma. Like, that's the power of just people liking you. Because the difference between Brian Billick and John Gruden is basically we like one of those guys and we don't like the other.
Right.
Yeah, and Jack Del Rio, by the way, was not on the firing line. I mean, if it wasn't for them being fascinated by Gruden, Del Rio's back.
Billick was 80 and 64 and has the Super Bowl. And John Gruden with his two teams was 95 and 81. Billick 80 and 64. I mean, same guy.
What's the winning percentages there? What is Gruden's winning percentage and what is Billick's winning percentage?
540 for Gruden, winning percentage, 556 for Billick.
So Billick's better.
Yep. But the hat, I mean. Hi, everyone. Stugotz here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you are confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you the same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you are getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz. That's rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states. NMLS consumeraccess.org number 3030.
Dan Le Batard.
I have to get out of here. How do I do this without dropping names here? I have a dinner with Dan Marino.
Stugotz.
I guess there's no way to do it without dropping it in.
I have to go to dinner. Would have been fine. This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz on the ticket.
All right, I need some help here, Mike. I don't know what to do. The national show starts in 40 minutes, and we had all sorts of ideas on what it is that we wanted to do, but there seems to be a lot of tension, and usually this particular ship is everyone, the oars are going in the same direction except for Cody, and we've figured out ways to mitigate the damage when he can't get his oar in the water or is going the opposite way as the rest of us.
Right.
But I want to do something to start the national show today, and I do not want to talk about the specifics yet, and I don't think the tension in the room is going to allow us to do it because nobody wants to do it but me. And we never do things like that around here where everyone is brought kicking and screaming down some sort of path. Even if it's race-related content, the people here might not like it, but they're down with the idea that it might have value and listeners might want it with their content.
Yes, so we'll stay with you on it.
But I don't think I've had anything quite like this where I have something that I want to do and nobody's with me. And so I don't know how we're going to do this, but we're going to try and fight our way through it in 40 minutes. But, Mike, two things. One, I want to ask you what we can reveal, because the local audience is going to enjoy watching this unfold. But, A, what can we reveal now in the next 40 minutes that doesn't undermine what we're doing in 40 minutes? And then, B, this bigger idea that's being floated at ESPN, I'm curious whether some people would want to watch a week from now, us watching the national championship game, one of those mega casts that ESPN does, where we just bring, everybody who's around the show, we bring them through a studio.
Right.
Cody's loving this idea. He's going to have his award under his arm.
He's loving it if he's involved.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to make a chain out of it. You know that.
How much camera time can I get? If I think many people would want to watch Greg Cody watching the national championship game, because ESPN puts this on like 7 different channels.
I think people just want to watch Greg Cody being Greg Cody. I think that's
Will there be like free chicken wings or something associated with it? Or?
I'm guessing we might get a budget for some food.
Yeah.
If they're asking us to work the night of the national championship game. But I'd ask the audience wants that, right? The audience would want that.
I would think our audience would. I think they would love that. Absolutely. Why wouldn't they? I mean, you're watching us watch a game. No, I love the MegaCast. I think it's great.
I wouldn't want to watch that.
Well, I mean, you're different, though, in that regard. I mean, you're just a different type of sports fan. Like, do you flip around on the MegaCast at all? Do you go to the coach's room during commercial break? Do you watch some of the game?
No.
You don't do any of that, because it's fantastic. I mean, Larry Fedora yesterday, just shoveling snacks down his throat, talking football. Amazing.
Well, Cody, this is the thing. This is what Stugatz was saying. And again, I maintain that Stugatz, you haven't seen the movie 300, is that little guy in 300 who's got the shield on his shoulder and is
the deformed guy, right?
Yeah. The deformed guy, yes. That Stugatz wants to be a part of a show that's different from this one. So Stugatz wants to do the MegaCast because, of course, it'll be great for the Stugatz brand, but he'd prefer to be doing it with Larry Fedora, which is the exact opposite of how I want to be doing it. Now Stugatz has been threatening me, saying that during our MegaCast, he's going to be watching Larry Fedora's MegaCast.
I'm telling you, we're going to lose if we're going up against Larry Fedora.
Are we?
I'd like to have Fedora in our room.
Put it on the poll. Are we going to lose if we're going up against Larry Fedora? Just not in a fight. Are we going to?
Larry Fedora.
I mean, he's got great forearms.
Yeah,
man.
he does.
He's a great last name.
He's the most muscular coach in sports, isn't he?
Yeah. Google image. This is the segment we call Google This. Larry Fedora shirtless.
Yeah.
Is he the most muscular coach in all of sports?
Cristobal's up there.
Is he?
Yeah, Cristobal's
He's
up there
definitely
now.
up there.
Oh, wait a minute. What happened with Cristobal, though? The whole Cristobal family thing is a serious thing. It's a funny thing. Luis, I apologize here. But you were doing so many steroids in college, dude. Hold on a second.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, everyone slow down.
Hold on.
Time to throw away all journalistic credibility and get reckless. Here is something we like to call reckless speculation.
You're good.
Thank you. The way the Cristobals looked in college is ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. It's like they were wearing Austin Powers fat suits. They were so far above their natural human weight or anyone's natural human weight. Those guys are like 5'5" from Hialeah. Those guys, the Cristobals are big, meaty guys who are actually in real life Jose Calderon, and whatever it is that they did in the weight room made them Cristobals.
Exactly.
But those are guys that I all went to high school with. None of them were offensive linemen, unless you inflate them with an air tire by 150 pounds.
Wait, what were they before the weight room?
Yeah, like jockeys. The Cristobals were the Cristobals.
Whatever happened to them made them a Cristobal.
The Cristobals were a family of jockeys.
Yeah, they were running at Calder one day.
Yes. And then next thing I know, they're running football, pushing everyone out of the way, and I just refuse to believe that that's not going through the pharmacy at some point.
That's great.
Sorry, Luis. Can we get Luis on the phone just to ask him? Do you think the statute of limitations is up on that? Mario Cristobal's brother 25, 30 years later. I used to love Luis Cristobal. And the fact of the matter is that right now, I know even in whatever emaciated state he's in, he would destroy me. He would physically tear me apart, even though he is, as I said, Jose Calderon.
A lot of people are texting in for strongest coach, not just based on his last name, but I think they're right. Charlie Strong.
Oh, no, Charlie's just thick. Charlie's not muscular like Fedora, where you can see that he's vascular.
I got a Google image Fedora because I don't.
He's not a bodybuilder, but he's just got biceps and he's got vascular arms. He's clearly fit.
Do it shirtless, Greg, if you're going to do the Google.
All right, everybody,
wow,
let's do this.
That's a good-looking man.
Yeah, it is.
If I were named Larry Fedora, I would always wear a fedora. Why? You never? He's got a visor on. What's up with that? Well, here he is, shirtless, next to somebody in a bikini.
Yeah,
baby.
I believe that's his daughter.
Oh, I take back my baby. I was saying
Wait a minute,
baby about Larry
It's
Fedora.
already out there. You can't take it back.
No,
It's
I was
already
thinking
out there.
about him.
I got
what
a great
washboard.
story. I got a great story on that front. I don't think I've ever told it here. I don't think have I ever told this story about Tommy Lasorda?
Well, you've told Tommy Lasorda stories. I don't know. We'll let you know.
Roy tends to have the most encyclopedic memory of things done and said on this show.
This is the Joe Angel story.
Yes, thank you, Roy.
You're welcome.
So I have told this story, but Greg has
Several
not heard
times.
it. Several times. Wait a minute. What happened to you?
Oh, no. I apologize for saying it's a great story, but then Roy said Joe Angel, and it dawned on me that you have told it several times.
I don't think I've heard it.
But tell it again because it's a great story, and you can't tell it enough.
It's been several years.
Yeah.
Okay. Tommy Lasorda is on the field before a Dodgers-Marlins game. I remember that day for some reason because I was stunned that Darryl Strawberry, my naivete lifted very quickly. Later in life, Darryl Strawberry would admit he was having sex in the dugout and sex in the clubhouse. But at the time, I didn't understand why Darryl Strawberry was sitting in front of his locker chain smoking cigarettes. Like, it was just confusing to me.
Right.
I'm like, you are like a hero and you're a great, wonderful athlete. And that's when all of my sports things started to fall. All the childhood sports things just went away. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this guy's partying hard. So, and Tommy Lasorda, lovable, affable old man, right? I remember this day because it's the day my innocence was lost. Tommy Lasorda is on the field, and he's talking to Marlins broadcaster Joe Angel. And a woman bounces by. And all I can say is that Tommy Lasorda, in the most graphic terms possible, explained what it is that he wanted to do to the woman who was bounding by, and in a way that you would find abrasive and unpleasant if he was telling you the story and had any liquor on his breath. Like, it would be like, ooh, you do what to her? What? How? Ooh, yeah. And then Joe Angel says, Tommy, that's my daughter.
Wow.
That's just what you did. That's what you just did. It's what reminded me of the story. You just did that to Larry Fedora. Not quite that way, admittedly.
Pretty close.
I don't think my baby.
I mean, it kind of implied, baby implied all those things.
Oh, no.
Yes, it did.
It's a compliment.
You were just more efficient.
Baby.
Exactly. Thank you. And I also illustrated and repeated that, that I was complimenting Larry Fedora's six-pack, which looked like an 8-pack. That's how stacked he is.
Are we now agreeing that Larry Fedora stacked, is he? Are we now agreeing that Larry Fedora is indeed, by consensus, the most muscular coach in the history of sports?
And the best looking.
The history, well, it can't be in the history of sports because there's some wrestling coach somewhere. It's got to be among the major American stuff is what we're talking about, right?
Dan Campbell, man.
Dan the Man Campbell. That's a good one.
Is he still coaching?
Does that even count?
Man Campbell.
Do you remember that? Guys, do you remember when the Dolphins season, speaking of coaches coming in and rescuing the day, he talked tough for a couple of games and we thought that Man Campbell was going to parlay that into the sky and turn into the next Don Shula.
Right.
And now, all this time later, we're sitting here putting up a poll, longing again for the 88-year-old Don Shula to make a return to the sidelines.
I can't believe we glossed over. We've discussed this before. It's Gabe Kapler. It's Gabe Kapler.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it's
wait
Gabe
a minute. No, but No, you're right. You're right. No,
Look at
you're
that.
right. Oh, my God. You're right about
all
that.
Of that.
That is a cheetah Speedo.
I I don't want to see that.
Sexy AF.
Baby.
A cheetah Speedo. No, but here's the thing, though. That guy's been ripped since he was a player. So I still think of him as a player because of how ripped he was as a player. What are you complaining about? What do you want? You want the Hakeem Nicks laugh or what?
I thought I got it, but Mike just told me that you were the recipient.
You were celebrating?
Congratulations. First one of 2018.
Wait a minute. What happened there? What did I get it for? What did you think you
I thought I was getting it for Baby. Nope.
Sexy AF guy.
This Ian, go ahead and Google that. Ian Kinsler, Cheetah Speedo.
Ian Kinsler.
It's Gabe Kapler. That's a fun.
Mother.
First fine of 2018. Congratulations. Big day for you.
Don Le Batard.
I'll tell you one guy you don't want to mess with is Ryback. You could watch a movie on his back in the competition. He gets the crowd chanting, "Feed me more."
Stugats.
How was that you hit by Ryback like that? Good night. Oh, I get a sore throat watching Ryback. Don't do it, Ryback. Oh! Watch out for Ryback.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugats on the ticket.
Stugats is such a funny conundrum because he's sitting here devouring all of the news, and he has Mike Munchak and Jim Schwartz in play as candidates for some coaching job. Which one? Jets? Which one?
Jim Schwartz seems to be, a candidate for every job that's available. And I was just on Twitter, and the folks at WFAN, the local New York station, were asking Giant fans, do you want Mike Munchak as your next head coach?
But this is what I'm saying to you, though. Like, what's the difference? John Gruden, I laugh at John Gruden the same way you laugh at these people. Like, the idea that someone can come in.
Right.
And be appreciably smarter than all of the world's Mike Munchaks. And that's where you're going to do your winning. When you saw in this town that Nick Saban couldn't win. Now, maybe he would have.
I think he would have.
Okay, you can think that all you want, but in 2 years he hadn't, and he hadn't solved his quarterback problem either.
Fair.
So you don't solve your quarterback problem, you see what happened in Cincinnati. God, those are 15 depressing years of Marvin Lewis. Where you're sitting there trying to prop up Andy Dalton, trying to believe that he's your quarterback,
right.
And like you now see, we all see what we were seeing at the time, which is you cannot win anything.
Sure.
0-7 in the playoffs, Marv Lewis. I mean, is he ever going to work again?
But the A.J. Green, his entire career has been wasted there.
Yep.
Wasted. Marv Lewis will work. He won't be a head coach again. That will not get a head coaching job.
Well,
again.
based on where they were before he got there, 7 playoff appearances, they didn't win a game over 15 years. I think most fan bases would take that. I know mine would.
Whoa,
I know the Jets would.
Whoa. Wait, what?
When you think about where the Bengals were before Marvin Lewis got there.
You would take 15 years. You think a fan base would take 15 years of you get to the playoffs half the time, but you lose every time in the first round? You think a fan base
would.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
well, Mike's a Browns fan.
And I'm a Jets fan, so maybe you're asking the wrong.
You went to AFC championship games.
Recently.
I know. But if you're telling me for the next 15 years, will I take 7 or 8 playoff appearances, not going to win a playoff game?
I don't think anybody agrees with you guys.
Yeah, but I have 7 or 8 times where I'm getting ready and looking forward to a playoff game.
The Titans are getting ready for the playoffs. They have no chance of winning anything. It's just a random arbitrary measurement that separates one 9-7 team for a different 9-7 team.
This isn't a hypothetical. Sugats, you wanted Rex Ryan out a couple years removed from going to back-to-back AFC championship games. You wouldn't be down for what Marvin Lewis's experience was.
I don't think anyone's going to agree with Stugats, and you have to agree with Mike just because Browns fans would take this. But
right.
If I gave you 15 years and said you will make 7 playoff appearances, but you will not win a single game, would you as a fan take that? I think you are so wrong on this, Stugats. There are so few fan bases that say, yes, sign me up for that.
Right.
That's worse than that's worse than almost everything except being the Browns.
It is. I mean, look at the Dolphins last season. They finally make the playoffs. Then they get their butt kicked in Pittsburgh, and it's like it didn't even happen. It's like, why bother?
Maybe the Bills. The Bills haven't made a playoff. When's the last time the Bills?
99.
17 years.
Yeah, they just broke the longest streak in professional U.S. sports.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Based off of where the Bengals were when Marvin Lewis took over, had you told them right then and there, hey, he's going to be here for 15 years, you ain't going to win a playoff game, but you'll get there 7 times, I think they would have taken that. Based on where they were,
no, the way you phrase it that way, because the Bengals were kind of the Browns. Like, that's so. But
we're pretty bad, yeah.
But what do you do if you're the Dolphins? Because here's another thing that's happening yesterday that I see. Do you know how many quarterbacks can do what that quarterback, whatever his name was yesterday? How many quarterbacks can do that? Like the Denver Broncos problem is an aberration, but how many guys could look kind of competent and get you whatever, 17 of 29 completions for 200 yards with a couple of touchdowns and an interception? Like you could almost get anybody to do that.
All of them. Any third-string quarterback, if given 35 pass attempts, is going to put up numbers. 260 yards.
No, but one of the things that's confusing to me about football is I don't know who this person is, and I'm allowed permission to not know his name because he's the backup quarterback, I think, for the Eagles. Is it Sudfeld or Sudfield?
I'll check. I think it's Sudfeld.
Whatever his name thing is, I tuned in to either the late third quarter.
Nate Sudfeld.
I turned in to either the late third quarter or early fourth quarter of what was either a 0-0 game or a 6-0 game. And the announcers were saying this about Sudfield, whatever. They were praising him again and again and again. And I'm not making up what I'm about to say. The announcer actually said this while praising this Sudfeld person. The only thing he hasn't done is move them into scoring position. He didn't say the only thing he hasn't done is score. He said the only thing he hasn't done is move them into scoring position. So basically what Sudfeld did is he was great going from his 10 to his 40. His 10 to his 45. His 9 to the 40. Great job, Sudfeld.
Well, he got him out of bad field position.
Right. The only thing he hasn't done is move them into scoring position. It's one of the worst games I've ever seen. It was either late in the third quarter or early in the fourth.
But his punter loves him.
Right.
Yeah.
So he was really good except when he needed to be good.
That's right.
Sudfeld.
That's right.
Yeah.
Really good from his 11-yard line. He'll get you to the 35 punt. Good job.
He was playing because they didn't want to risk injury to Nick Foles.
That's right. Which is another funny thing.
Foles.
The idea that
Foles is 2 home games away from a Super Bowl.
No, but you know what's going to happen with Foles. One of those home games is going to be a stinker by Foles, and then everybody's going to say, everyone's going to say, why didn't the Eagles get Kaepernick?
The two buys in the NFC are Nick Foles and Case Keenum.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
That's funny.
They were both Jeff Fisher quarterbacks, by the way.
That's funny.
Boy, Keenum has really revitalized his career. He's going to finish in the top 5 in the MVP vote.
I need some help understanding that one.
But it's so random. He wasn't even their starter headed into the season.
But it makes me wonder if Sudfeld could do that if he was there because the Vikings are really good everywhere else. Like if Case Keenum is doing it, does that mean Case Keenum has improved? Or does that mean that any damn Sudfeld could do it if he plays for that particular team?
No, it's an outlier. How many seasons have been nuked by injuries to the quarterback position where the backup comes in, where just the second string guy comes in and isn't nearly as good? What's happening right now is a total outlier.
Minnesota's a fascinating quarterback situation, though. You've got Sam Bradford. You've got Teddy Bridgewater healthy again.
They've got 2 quarterbacks that I think are better than the one that they're playing.
Yes.
Right.
And winning with.
But,
right?
Mike, sometimes the team is good enough. Like, didn't the Ravens, wasn't Dilfer the backup that year? And Jeff Hostetler was a backup, and the Giants won a Super Bowl with him.
Yes, these are all countless.
Look, the Vikings, if you have to go through Minnesota twice,
right,
you've got a very good chance of losing. And you know who's got the best chance of losing against Minnesota? Nick Foles. Like, he's got a really good chance of all of a sudden you're like, oh, that's why Nick Foles is a backup. That right there. Oh, because when he runs into a Super Bowl defense, he's finished.
You'll remember the outliers. You won't remember things like just this year with Ryan Tannehill being out and then Jay Cutler being out and Matt Moore being thrust into action, or when Tom Tupa had to play quarterback for the Jets at one time. You'll remember when it actually works.
I mean, Foles versus Keenum in the NFC Championship game.
Cody, did you get depressed watching the Dolphins yesterday? Did you watch the Dolphins yesterday?
I did watch the Dolphins yesterday, and it was a fitting ending to that season. I mean, they're down 22-16. They should have won that game 23-22. But why didn't they? Because their 2 best offensive players, Kenyon Drake and Jarvis Landry, did something really stupid and got ejected. And so here are the Dolphins.
It was the only interesting part of that game.
It was. But now here are the Dolphins trying to put a bow and a forced smile on an awful season, and they get sabotaged by their own dumbness.
I watched them on Sunday. It's a fun. Fine.
Yeah, you both have said yesterday.
I let it slide a few times, yeah.
Dolphins
Tuesday
game.
today.
That's 2 days ago.
Fine, though.
Oh.
It's just
you got the day wrong.
Well, it's a fine for someone.
It's just a mistake. It's a fine for you now.
Well, let's see if I have any money on me.
You get
Well, I mean, listen, we spent a lot over the break. Rachel mainly spent all of it. I have no money on me, sorry.
For the love of God. All right, here we go again. Here we go again. If you're not familiar with the finding system around here, Stugotz gets fined.
Oh, hey, looky. Found something.
All right, how about that?
All right, let's see what this costs. Let's tally this up.
I have $2 on.
This might be a record $4 fine. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me count this up. Greg.
Yeah.
He gets fined anytime he calls a fine that isn't a fine.
Okay.
So that's $1. He gets fined anytime he doesn't have that dollar. He gets fined $1 every time he claims to not have $1, and then we find that he has dollars. So now we're at $3.
But I only have $2.
But this is why I think you might get fined again for not being able to cover this. And if we go into your wallet again, this is going to be like the inception of fines. We're going to empty your bank account because we could keep playing this game. If you have another dollar,
Rachel took care of that over the break.
All right, let's frisk him. Who's going to frisk him? I believe he's got more money on him, and if he's got more money on him, then it means more fines.
I mean, go ahead, man.
You're alleging you've only got $2 on a $3 fine.
I don't believe that.
What I'm alleging.
All right, hold on.
Someone walking in here to
yes, we're all going to wait. Let's go. Stand up. Stand up.
Mike
Let's see if any cash.
Baby.
Let's see. Let him get into those pockets.
Mike is in my back pocket right now.
I know, but he's got to get in the front pocket.
That's not money, Mike.
That's right. That's Mike in his front pocket. That's not a sausage.
I think Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
All right, that's the pocket. That would be the culprit right there.
He's clean.
All right, he's clean.
Yes.
He's clean.
Yes.
All right. So what is the total amount of fines here, Billy?
I think 3.
All right, so he owes $1. It's $2 plus an IOU.
All right.
But what do you do?
Mistake.
What do you do with the Dolphins, Greg? Like, do we bury it and just move on? Because who cares about this team right now?
Yeah, they've been through such a depressing season. Tannehill, I think, is better than people think he is. And compared to Cutler, he's going to be a breath of fresh air.
No, but Tannehill would be totally serviceable. This is where we are with some of this stuff that makes it really hard. Tannehill would be winning the Super Bowl this year with the Minnesota Vikings. He'd be winning the Super Bowl this year with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Probably, yeah.
He'd be a Super Bowl winning quarterback if those were the teams he had around him, because look at how good those teams are with cruddy quarterbacks. Quarterbacks we know to be cruddy. Quarterbacks we know that aren't as good as Ryan Tannehill.
And they're wasting the years of Cam Wake and Ndamukong Suh, both.
No, they're wasted.
Older.
No,
they're wasted.
They're wasted.
Especially Cameron.
They have wasted those careers.
Yes.
They have wasted.
Isn't that funny? If you ask the Vikings today, hey, McCown out, you can have a healthy Ryan Tannehill. Mm-hmm. They'd say, yep, right now. So you're right.
Keenum, you mean?
Keenum, excuse me. Yes. If you
that's
called
a fine.
I think that's a fine for finding me
McCown.
for something.
You called him McCown.
But that's not my fine system, and that's just because
I don't get fined for fines that aren't a fine. Only you get fined for fines that aren't a fine.
You owe $3. I don't know what to tell you.
Wait, what?
You owe $3. If you don't have money, I can spot you. Mike didn't check the secret pocket.
The secret pocket. The secret pocket. It's like in a prison. He hides it in his butt. He calls it the secret pocket. It's like contraband in a prison. It's like smuggling heroin into this country.
Oh, man.
What, you guys didn't know that's how you do it? That's how I did it 20 years ago. Just right back there, put it in there in a balloon. Boom, secret pocket.
In a balloon.
I don't know. How would you do that? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know how would one smuggle heroin in through the anal cavity?
Wow.
It's very easy. It's just like a balloon or a dental glove or a condom.
Oh, and then you just
a dental glove. Wow, that's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, don't go dental glove. Trust me.
Latex.
And be careful, very careful. I know I don't want to tell you how much experience, but be very careful with those gloves that have the little bumps on them.
Gardening gloves?
Anyway, the Dolphins.
Yeah, what do you do with them?
I do nothing with them.
You know
what?
You know what? I want to stop for a second. I don't want to talk about the Dolphins.
Good.
I want to discuss briefly for a second here what we're going to do in 10 minutes from now.
There's a tension.
I have an idea. that nobody else wants to do.
Right.
And I can't do it this way. It has to have the enthusiasm of the room behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to reveal too much, but look, you've been on record saying you want to present UCF a national championship trophy, and so a lot was riding on what was pretty much a meaningless Peach Bowl between
Big
Auburn.
game for me yesterday. Big day for Dan. Yesterday was Dan is right day. We opened up the new year with Dan is right day.
But you have all these huge plans, and no one can really get behind this whole UCF thing. First off, it was the fourth most important football game that was played yesterday, third most.
Yeah, but only because all this bleep is random. Like, UCF absolutely deserves to win the championship. They're the only undefeated team in the country, and they just got done beating the Auburn team that beat both the two teams that are playing for the championship.
Worked out perfectly for you.
UCF should win the championship of college football.
At least have a chance.
And you've been yelling all season long, they're the best team in the state, and at times that seemed ridiculous, and now you're laughing last, and you're laughing hardest because UCF just finished a perfect season, and now I got to plan a damn remote to Orlando to give them a huge oversized trophy that's been in my garage for 2 years.
Yes or no? UCF would beat either Georgia or Alabama.
Well, wait a minute. You guys already did this to me with Auburn, and you said they wouldn't beat Auburn, and I told you they could play with Auburn, and don't do that to me.
You didn't answer my question.
No, but they would not be favored against Alabama, but they were a 10-point dog against Auburn and smoked them.
Right. Alabama would be a 13-point favorite.
That's
right
fine.
now,
Auburn was a 10-point favorite. Auburn beat Alabama. Auburn beat Georgia. They are playing for the national championship, and Central Florida beat Auburn.
No, I'm with you, man. I told you I needed to see them beat Auburn, which they did.
That team should have been in the playoff. You can dispute all you want. You're about to give the championship to a Nick Saban who has won fewer games this season against bowl teams than Central Florida did, and you didn't make him play a championship game. Central Florida just played the SEC championship. That's what they did. They beat Auburn. Anyone can make the argument that Auburn is the best team in the SEC, and UCF beat them.
Yes, they did.
And you can make a legitimate argument that team should be national championship, and what you can't do is dispute that team should have been playing among the Final Four.
Well, I thought when they made this whole college football playoff, it was to give teams like UCF, who ran the table, a legitimate shot. Okay, here's an opportunity to play yourself into a national championship. They're not even really getting that opportunity.
I think that the playoff needs to expand to 8 teams. I really do.
But I don't think they would have made it even if we'd done that.
No, I think they would have. If it was
guys, they were 12.
No, Dan, if you had it at 8 and the Power 5 winner, all Power 5s get in, and then you have 3 at large, I think a committee would have voted.
Okay,
UCF
you'd say
in.
that, but the committee blew it on this one.
They absolutely did. But I think if you expanded
that team was good enough to beat any team in the country.
Agreed. Yeah.
There's no respect for the American Athletic Conference, the AAC. I mean, it's not a Power 5 conference. There's a lot of weak teams in it.
But, Greg, if there was a committee with 3 at-large bids, do you think UCF gets in this year?
Yes.
Stugotz, can I explain something to you, though? Like, having watched that team all year, they didn't play well yesterday. That first half is the worst half of football I've seen that team play outside of Mackenzie Milton one time throwing 3 interceptions in a Memphis game where they scored plenty, but he was bad in the first half. And they were bad in the first half, dropping balls. He was like 4 of 20 or 5 of 20. He's a very good quarterback. They were bad, and they beat the team that beat the teams.
You're the only one that cares about this
I know.
team.
I know it. Nobody else cares about it.
I think it's an interesting argument. And when they beat Auburn yesterday, and I didn't think they would, for the first time I'm thinking to myself, wow, the CFP selection committee is embarrassed right now.
And should be. And here's what I'm telling you. And consequences be damned. I am doing the entire show today on University of Central Florida is the champion of the world.